Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are moving higher this morning, with S&P futures up 0.24%, Dow futures up 0.16%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.25%. Markets are continuing to move higher ahead of the latest U.S. jobs data as positive corporate earnings continue to roll in. The Treasury 10-year yield has held around 1.2%, while the dollar has slipped against several major peers. Many stocks are at or near record highs, yet traders are keeping watch on the fast-spreading Delta strain, which is prompting new mobility curbs and a rally in sovereign debt. Whether or not to pull back on stimulus is a continued debate, particularly as data released Wednesday showed persistent hiring obstacles despite improvements in the economy. The Vice Chair Richard Clarida stated yesterday that the Fed is on track for liftoff in interest rates in 2023. While latest economic reports have showed a much softer than expected ADP employment report, they're also showing a record expansion for U.S. service industries. U.S. job market will remain a key window onto the outlook, with new unemployment claims due out today, followed by the key non-farm payrolls numbers on Friday. Over in Europe, the Stoxx 600 index ticked higher with several key positive earnings. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I'm watching the S&Ps as I always do every morning, and they were mildly higher all day, fluctuating, but they're at a strong point right now, the strongest they've been all morning long, ahead of this morning's economic numbers. So that's a positive. And there's a number of key economic reports coming out this morning. The trade deficit and unemployment claims could really heighten the momentum of the major indexes this morning. I'm still cautious as the market is typically quiet ahead of the non-farm payrolls report that's coming out on Friday. But it looks like it's going to be reacting positively, when these other economic reports come out this morning. I look at the earnings data, it was mainly positive from last night, yet the markets are really cautious on the forward guidance due to the increasing levels of the coronavirus infections. I heard that Richard Clarida, he's the vice chair of the Federal Reserve. I mean, he really feels that the conditions are going to be met for the FOMC to start raising interest rates by the end of 2022. And that's when his term ends. So we'll see what happens there. One positive note is Biden is set to sign an executive order today, and it's going to set a target to make half of the all new automobiles to be sold in 2030 to have zero emissions, or essentially electric vehicles. So that's a big positive for the EV stocks this morning. But that's what I have going on. That's what I see for my market updates, Shane.
Let's look at earnings to watch. Bill, tell us what we've been seeing so far.
Well, there are a lot of earnings that came in last night. Western Digital, ticker WDC, William David Charlie, they beat by 67 cents on higher revenue. Yet, you look at the stock, it's down 2.3% this morning. Electronic Arts, that's ticker EA, they beat by 9 cents on higher revenue, and that stock's up 4.23% this morning. McKesson, the drug manufacturer, that's ticker MCK, Michael Charlie Kilo, they beat by 45 cents on higher revenue, but they guided a little lower. McKesson's trading flat this morning. I also see that GoDaddy, that's ticker GDDY, they missed by 5 cents, but they did it on higher revenue, and they really have a nice outlook for the future, but they really crushed the stock. It's down 7.43% this morning. Boot Barn, that's ticker BOOT, they beat by 47 cents on higher revenue. You look at Boot Barn, it hasn't opened yet for trading, but this was a really strong report. Jack in the Box, that's ticker JACK, they beat by 37 cents on higher revenue. Jack in the Box is down about 1% this morning. Fastly, that's ticker FSLY, they beat by 2 cents, but they did it on lower revenue. That's why Fastly shares are down 21% this morning. This morning, we had Wayfair come out with a nice earnings beat. They beat by 72 cents. It was on lower revenue, but you look at Wayfair this morning, it's up 6.75%. Moderna, that's ticker mRNA, they beat by 42 cents. It was on lower revenue. Moderna shares are down 3.36% this morning. But you got to remember yesterday, going into earnings, this stock was flying. It was up to over $30 yesterday. And Dine Brands, it's ticker DIN, David, India, Nancy, they beat by 25 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. You look at Dine Brands this morning, and it is trading higher. Dine Brands is actually up 3.28% right now. So that's what I see for earnings that have come out this morning and yesterday afternoon, Shane.
How about upcoming earning announcements?
This afternoon we have Carvana, which should be interesting. That's ticker CVNA, used car dealership. Their EPS estimate is for them to lose 31 cents. Expected move here is 8%. Monster Beverage, that's ticker MNST, Michael, Nancy, Sam, Tom. Their EPS estimate is 67 cents. The expected move here is 3.89%. International Flavors and Fragrances, that's ticker IFF, India, Frank. EPS estimate is $1.48. The expected move here is 2.8%. Ticker FND, Frank, Nancy, David. This is Floor Decor Holdings. Frank, Nancy, David. The EPS estimate is 63 cents. The expected move here is 8%. Dropbox, ticker DBX, David Boy X-Ray. EPS estimate is 32 cents, with the expected move being 6.5%. Universal Display, ticker OLED, Oscar, Larry, Edward, David. EPS estimate is 87 cents with the expected move of 7%. Beyond Meat, ticker BYND, Boy, Yellow, Nancy, David. EPS estimate is for them to lose 23 cents this quarter, with the expected move coming in at 9.6% this afternoon. And Switch, that's ticker SWCH, Sam, William, Charlie, Henry. EPS estimate there is 5 cents. And the expected move is 7.2%. FireEye, ticker FEYE, Frank, Edward, Yellow, Edward. EPS estimate there is 8 cents. The expected move is 7.3%. Shake Shack, that's ticker SHAK. Estimates are for them to lose 7 cents this quarter, and the expected move there is 8.65%. I look at Shake in the morning this morning, it's up 1.4% in pre-market. Chewy Holdings, that's ticker CHUY, Charlie, Henry, under yellow. EPS estimate is 48 cents, and the expected move here is 12.24%. But that's what I'm seeing for the expected earnings coming out, Shane.
Let's talk about economic reports. Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
The jobless claims is coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and as well as the international trade and goods and services report at 8:30. And later today at 10 a.m., we have the recently appointed Fed Governor, Christopher Waller, giving his speech.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Pfizer, ticker PFE. The UK's Competition and Markets Authority has provisionally found that Pfizer and Flynn have abused their dominant positions to overcharge the UK's National Health Service for vital anti-epilepsy drugs. The CMA found that the two companies exploited a loophole by debranding the drug known as Epineutin prior to September 2011, with the effect that the drug was not subject to price regulation in the way that branded drugs are. So as Pfizer and Flynn were the dominant suppliers of the drug in the UK, the NHS had no choice but to pay the unfairly high prices. So this was something that had gone to court, had been repealed by the companies, and it got repealed again by the NHS, and finally it's going through. So this is negative news for them. Looking at news on Merck, ticker MRK, the phase 3 trial for Keytruda on the treatment of melanoma has met the primary endpoint of recurrence-free survival, which is statistically and clinically meaningful improvement compared to placebo. Merck's share price is up 0.25% in pre-market. Some acquisition news. Penn National, PENN, is set to acquire Score Media, ticker SCR, for $2 billion in cash and stock. And Bayer, ticker BAYRY, is set to acquire Vividian Therapeutics for $2 billion. News on Papa John's, ticker PZZA. The company has partnered with Drake Foods to open over 220 restaurants across Latin America, Spain, Portugal, and the UK by 2025. News on Sanofi, ticker SNY, and Regeneron, ticker REGN. The companies stopped their phase 3 combo trial of their cancer treatment in conjunction with chemotherapy early after the primary endpoint was met of significantly improved overall survival. Sanofi's share price is up 1.2% in pre-market, while Regeneron's share price is up 3.06%. News on Moderna, ticker mRNA. In a phase 3 study, 3 different Moderna booster candidates induced robust antibody responses against COVID-19 and the major variants, including the Gamma, Beta, and Delta. Other news from Moderna, its COVID-19 vaccine has been found to be 93% effective even after 6 months. Moderna's share price is down 4.78% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, kind of updating on something that we talked about as we talked about our market updates, Tesla, ticker TSLA, and Fisker, ticker FSR, are both gaining in pre-market after U.S. President Biden had set to sign an executive order today targeting to have 50% of all new vehicles sold in 2030 being zero-emission cars. Although not legally binding, Biden's plan has received significant backing from key national and foreign automakers, including a joint pledge by General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis to achieve sales of 40 to 50% of annual U.S. volumes of electric vehicles by 2030. So with that, Tesla's share price is up 0.8%, while Fisker's is up 2.44% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific alerts for events and for specific alerts on industries. That way, when breaking news hits, I can jump on the stock before price action really starts to, get in there. I'm looking at my FANG alert this morning. Amazon, ticker AMZN. They just announced a new half-price membership deal exclusively for college students. It gives them some benefits, for ordering food in some Scholastic type websites where they get special pricing on. It's good. They're able to get college students when they're young and hold them as clients as they get older. So it's kind of a positive news for Amazon. I also noticed that the Indian Enforcement Agency is threatening that Flipkart with a $1.35 billion fine. I looked over at, Tesla, and, I see Tesla's gaining as Biden announced that 2030 target of having 50% of all cars sold in the U.S. be electronic vehicles. So that's kind of positive. In terms of my Dow Jones 30 alert, CVS is offering Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine in its pharmacies. Not good news for J&J. JP Morgan is launching a passive Bitcoin fund for some of its institutional clients. Boeing, ticker BA, the launch of their Starliner space capsule is delayed for now. They actually moved it back into the hangar. Walt Disney, it's ticker DIS. They're going to be opening up a new animation studio in Vancouver, British Columbia. In terms of option data, I noticed, the call volumes are rather bullish on some EV stocks yesterday, and that's ahead of Biden's signing of that announcement that we spoke about earlier. Lordstown Motors, that's ticker RIDE, call put ratio is 3.5 calls to every one put. Lee Auto, the call put ratio is 3.4 calls to every one put. In NEO, call put ratio is 3.6 calls to every one put. In terms of events going on today, Albertsons, that's ticker ADI. They're going to be having a shareholders meeting today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. But that's what I'm seeing as far as news events this morning, Shane.
Let's talk about our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking Papa John's, one I spoke about, ticker PZZA. After partnering with Drake Foods, this plan to open 220 restaurants, it's a big one. And Drake Foods, this is a company that's already opening a bunch of franchises of Papa John's, specifically opening about 50 in the UK within the next 4 years. So, and it already has recently purchased over 60 Papa John restaurants in London. So it's already made itself the largest brand franchisee in the country. So they're extending a partnership, obviously making significantly more in the years to come, in the very few years to come. So it's a positive news for Papa John's, and I could see this helping them to tick upwards a bit more. They're already a little bit higher in pre-market, about 0.8%, but I could see them going higher. So that's my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
Going with Floor and Decor. Holdings, that's ticker FND, Frank Nancy David. Earnings are out this afternoon. It's priced for an 8% move. Look at the broker research. It's overall positive on the stock. They opened up a record number of stores last quarter, and those new stores should really, show some nice same-store sales volumes and could really come to deliver these guys a positive earnings beat this quarter. I see one of the brokers, one of the major brokers out there. They're raising comps ahead of earnings, so that's a positive. You saw what the tile shop did this morning. They came in with an earnings beat of 11 cents versus 2 cents, which was expected. So it just kind of shows you these tiles and floorings, that market is still very hot. So I could see FND, Frank Nancy David, having a nice move when they release earnings this afternoon, Shane.
Moving into what's hot off the press, the news is hitting the tape as we speak, moving the stocks today. Let's get into it. Bill, seeing our headlines, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Rite Aid, that's ticker RAD, Richard Apple David. Rite Aid is announcing same-day delivery with a partnership with Shipt. Treehouse Foods, that's ticker THS, Tom, Henry, Sam. They're reducing their 2021 guidance. Ticker ITRI, India, Tom, Richard, India. Stock just got halted. News pending.
Eager Biopharmaceuticals, ticker EIGR, has received FDA breakthrough therapy designation for a treatment that it has for congenital hyperinsulinism.
News report out from Verizon. It's a press release. Verizon Business is bringing 5G internet to 5 new cities. Costco, ticker COST, Charlie, Oscar, Sam, Tom. They're getting a number of brokers raising their price targets. Remember, they had their conference call on their sales numbers for July last night. Deutsche Bank adds General Motors, ticker GM, to its catalyst call buy list.
ExxonMobil, ticker XOM, is considering going net zero carbon pledge by 2050.
President Biden's administration is going to announce mandatory vaccination for all active duty U.S. military. Here's a big one. I mean, this is, SEC Chief Gary Gensler. I mean, he's bracing for a clash with cryptocurrency traders as he's about to announce some new pending regulations for that industry, which is not good for the cryptocurrencies.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today, Shane.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out and get a free trial. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Pfizer, ticker PFE. It opened at $45.35, but we said let's wait till we see some market weakness in the morning, and that came just by after 10 a.m. The share price was down to $45.06 and moved up to as high as $45.77 just after 1 p.m. This was a gain of 1.57%. The price ended up closing lower at $45.19. It was still above our buy-in, and there were many chances to sell before that and actually make a nice little turnaround. So it was a good move for us. How did yours end up doing, Bill?
I did Cigna yesterday, ticker CI, Charlie India, opened up at $232.78, ran to $233.49, which is a minor differential of 0.31%. And then it moved lower and, closed out on the day at 231.48. So it wasn't great.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Trade Talk with Traders. You know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.